everybody, appreciate y'all tuning to the channel today here at 323 Fabrication. As you can see, out here in our lean-to, checking out this old Cadillac. That's what today's video is about. We're working on this car, making a little more progress. Gonna try to get the hood, the new to us hood, straightened up. You know, work on painting it and all that. Gonna learn how to spray. Obviously prime it, block it, you know, fill it, do all that fun stuff, and then learn how to spray some color. You know, I want to learn how to paint, guys. We got a lot of hot rods, a lot of projects, and you know, paint body work's really expensive, so I figure it's time to learn. So hope y'all will hang out with us while we do that. Check it out, y'all. Doing a little custom painting today. Dad had this great idea. I'm gonna take care of these runs. Don't worry, we're professionals. But got the straw out of the brake clean, stuck it in the end of a can of spray paint, stuck it in all these holes inside all this stuff up here at the front, because it's got a lot of little pinholes in it, and just, you know, sprayed it full of paint, let it run down to try and seal stuff and slow down the rust. And then I'm gonna knock the runs down with some sandpaper, wipe it down, and then spray the whole thing with a gloss black on the underside and on the edges. But before we do that, I'm gonna get the Bondo out and re-Bondo all this stuff that was Bondoed. Should just left it alone. But it's gonna be just fine for what we're doing with it. And it should last a good long time. Alright, y'all. Trying to get a little bit more DD Speed Shop in my life. This is needs to be cut out and patch welded in. So what we're gonna do is Bondo it and paint over it. Same thing with the front, because I ain't cutting the whole front lip off the hood. I just want to get it done, get it painted, put it together. Now, granted, Dan cuts a lot of metal out and welds patches in and seam seals stuff. But you know what? We're going to Bondo this, and it's going to be good enough. The hood's structurally sound, and I'm going to cut a big old hole in it anyway for hood stacks. That's what we got going on. So I'm finna do some learning. I'm not much of a body man. Alright, there's what we're using. This is the first thing I wiped. It's a little rough, but it's already pretty well dry. We'll sand it all tomorrow. I'm gonna fill some of these inside holes too, but show y'all. Now this don't mix too much when you're doing this. I filled a little spot there. This has all got to be sanded. I gotta add a little more filler in there. But I mean, most of this isn't even gonna show, but the idea is to smooth it back down. There was a big dent there I filled. I'm gonna have to, once we sand it, I'll have to add a little more. And then I did the same thing back there. But this will get sanded and cleaned up. We'll get some paint on it. I do have a putty to fill the pinholes with. But, I mean, it seems like pretty good stuff. Making a mess. So we made a little progress. Sanded a lot of these spots. Got the front, got some more spots wiped. Flipped the hood over, been sanding on it. But you can see there's some low spots we've been filling. I got some more to fill. Got some pinholes right here. Fill all those. Gotta sand that still. Got some pitting we're gonna fill. This isn't gonna be perfect, and I'm really probably doing more than I should. But the idea is, you know, that when we spray it pink, it'll be sort of decent. But I'm gonna try to fill some of these, you know, pitted spots that really don't matter. But just get the spots wiped down on the hood. It's got these weird little, you know, almost like, I don't know, maybe that was a repair or something at one point. I don't know. It's kind of strange here too. Y'all good look at it. But got some dents, got some dings. It's gonna be awesome. There y'all go. Top of it's in primer. Done doing body work. Now this is just primer to seal where it was raw metal and body filler, and I've got another primer to spray with an actual gun once we scuff this up a little bit. Probably overdid it. I wasn't thinking, I just kept spraying, but it's gonna be awesome. And then yesterday went to Ken's Pro Color in Dothan. Met some awesome folks there. Never been over there before. My buddy Ryan gets all of his paint and stuff from him. The refrigerator that we painted the same colors at GTO, that color came from there. But I got some stuff from him. he mixed up our Cadillac color. I took him a piece. It's pretty neat. I took him this piece here, and he cleaned it up and scanned it, and then matched the color to it. And it's gonna be awesome. So we got that, so we can paint match the hood. Gonna spray some red lead primer in a few spots and then weather it through after we paint it. He gave me all this other stuff. This is my primer we're gonna spray. I'm gonna go get a good old China Freight paint gun. We got a primer gun. I'm gonna go get one of them paint guns that takes the cans on top where you can see your stuff. This is our red primer. And of course, you know, your hardeners and your thinners and all that stuff, mixing cups. It's gonna be a learning experience, but I figure we're gonna have to start painting cars eventually. Might as well start with one that doesn't have to be perfect, right? Got our custom porch swing paint booth set up. Gonna hit it with the old rattle can, underside flat black, and then let it dry. Other side will get the color. Still got to get a paint gun, but gonna get this done today. There it is. It's still drying a little bit to hit a couple light spots, but overall I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Still got to hit the corners where the swing was in the way, but it's awesome. It's gonna be just fine for what we're doing. Can't wait to see this side pink. It's gonna be cool. Making a little progress. Check it out. Got it tape took off. It's got to dry some more. You can see some spots that are still glossy. But man, for some rattle cans, that booger looks good. Looks excellent. Got the bottom side of the hood all taped up best we could. Gonna get it flipped over and do a little bit of sanding and then spray full coat of primer on it. Well, we are fixing to either make a mess or learn something. All right, talked to my buddy Ryan. We had these two old paint guns. I wanted a gun to be dedicated to primer. He said either one should be fine. This one's a no-name brand. Needed a regulator, but it's never had paint in it. So instead of having to clean that one really good, I'm just going to use this one to start with. And so what I got, had to get a regulator. Got to regulate your air going into your gun. So got that at China Freight. Added a fitting on the end of it. I'm gonna get one more of those for our new color gun, but talked to my buddy Ryan at Wiggins Customs, and he suggested a HTE gun. It's a high transfer efficiency gun. It's supposed to spray really well. They have two of them. This is the cheaper version. This is a $100 gun. Haven't taken it out yet. And then my buddy Joey ran by the other Harbor Freight because they didn't have the adapter to get the kind that takes the disposable top cups, but this is going to be our color gun. This is going to be our primer gun. Got to get one more of these. Should be in. They said they should get some more in on Monday. So I'll just borrow this one until. So we got to spray primer and block it out before we're ready for color. So I mean, we might not even get to the color before that, but that's the plan. That's what we went with. It's pretty sweet. I'm excited to do some learning. Get this old hood painted. Gonna get a good coat of primer on it and block it out again. All right, y'all. Dad's got the hood wiped down. We drained the water out the bottom of the compressor. Let me walk out here and show y'all. We got a copper coil in a barrel of water, and what that does, it comes out of the compressor head into that, which helps cool the air, and then goes back into the tank. The tank acts like a pre-collector, and then you got a dryer. So it helps. My buddy sprays cars like that, and it does really well. So that's the plan. Got this out here. We're gonna close the door when we get ready. But got our gun cleaned real well. Got a spray pattern set best we could figure. And then it's set on 20 PSI. So it's ready to go. Now this is what we're using. And I called my buddy Ryan and he suggested to mix a number 6 on the amount. So there's your 6. So you fill it up to there with primer. Then you're gonna add your hardener to that next 6. And then we're gonna do 20% reducer, which is gonna be up there. And it took me a minute or two to get that scale thing figured out. But that's the plan. I'm gonna strain it, be good to go. Get ready to spray. All right, that's what we're using. 5 on our paint. We got about 15% reducer, give or take a little. And then a 5 on our hardener. That's the scale, 4 to 1, and then 10 to 20%, however you want to do it. We're gonna stir it up. First coat of primer. Gotta wait on it to flash. So far, so good, I believe. Definitely forgot to start the time lapse on the other camera. So, ta-da! You'll get the second coat though. Coats. Mix a little bit more paint, add to it. This is the first time I've ever sprayed anything with an actual paint gun. Used rattle cans a few times, but so far I think it's turning out pretty good. It'll look real good once it's sanded, like some 320, maybe some 400. And it'll be ready for color. Be exciting. There you go. It's 2 coats and a little bit more on the nose. We ran out of paint, but and we got more we could mix. But we're gonna sand it first, see what it looks like, see if it's necessary to do any more. But overall, first time spraying with a full-size gun. I'm satisfied. Tried to do a little more adjusting on the gun, and it was kind of as wide as you can see some of the streaking in it. Where the overlap wasn't quite as good, but we'll sand it and see what we got before we mix any more paint. We're kind of running out of daylight today anyway, but I like it. There you go. So got some weld through red primer. That's a spot Dad fixed. It was a little low there. Took care of that dent. Got a few other little spots we added some putty to. And we're going to do some rattle canning down the sides. That way we can kind of blend it and try to match the fenders on the car. There's a piece of lint. Spray a little bit of brown in here. The idea is just to, we're going to weather the hood a little bit. Obviously, it's not going to match the car perfect because the top of the fenders are pretty rough, just like the original hood was pretty rough. But the idea is that the hood's not perfect. That's what we want. So that's kind of the process. You add some spots you want to sand through a little bit. Like I'll spray some out here randomly, and then take a can and put some sandpaper on the bottom and just kind of twist it like it had a drink setting on it for a while or something, you know. Just give it some character is the idea. I didn't really think about this, and I don't know hardly anything about painting so far as how the actual color is going to go. You know what I mean? Because being that it's pink, it's kind of light, so I don't know how it's going to like the transition with a gray primer and a red primer. But we did this so that we can sand through some of this and try and weather it and try and make the hood look patina. Did that area, you know, kind of guessing where the hood stack should be. You know, somebody set a drink or, you know, can of brake fluid or something on it there. That spot just needed primer. So I don't know, you know, around the front edge where your hands are and dings and rock chips and stuff. I don't know. We're going to see. Hopefully it does well. But the idea is that it's a patinaed hood, so we're learning.
As we go.
Yes, sir. As we go. We're learning as we go. All right, hood's wiped down. Pretty much ready to spray. I like it, satisfied where it's at. We got to talking about it. And these fender skirts, howdy sir.
Hello.
These fender skirts, the passenger side one's pretty bad on the outside. They're both solid, but this one's pretty crusty. And I was like, well, if we're gonna mix up some color anyway, let's get this cleaned up, get some paint on it before it ends up with holes in it. Because it's getting pretty pitted. I'm not going to worry about straightening it up, nothing crazy. I might bend that a little bit straighter, but this one's in really pretty good shape. Like this is, you know, I'm happy with this one. But what we are going to do is I'm going to clean the back side of both of them. Spray them black just like we did the hood, just to try to slow down the rust. But this one's going to get sanded and cleaned up and sprayed the right way. Check it out. So, guys, what we got going on, wire wheeled the whole inside. Got to take a hand brush and get what I can in there, and we'll spray a bunch of paint up underneath that. These things do have some holes in them. Unfortunately, they were pretty thin in some spots. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to glass them from the back side because I'm not fixing them. See? But that'll be okay. This had a pretty good sized dent here. And see if y'all can see. Kind of worked it out. It's really pretty round now. It's nice. Got a little bit there, but it's gonna have to get wiped anyway to fill the pitting. And then you can see here where I was sanding where it didn't sand. This was all low, so I knocked this down like this, you know, on this top edge till that got straight again, and it kind of pushed that out. And then I flipped it over and just kind of dollied it best I could. Get it sanded some more. Get some Bondo wiped on it. Be good to go. We're gonna call it a day, y'all. But got it fixed up. Knocked that down with a little bit of sandpaper. You just can tell. Let's see here. Get the light right. Just can tell there's some Bondo on the back side of that. But I might just leave it. Might be good enough. Some in there. This was the rustiest end, and it's got some in there oozing out from all the spots. We'll get the back of these painted black tomorrow. That paint dries pretty quick, and we'll be able to work on the front side. This is the good one that's not getting any pink, except right here. I will spray a little bit on there when we actually get ready to spray color. There's the front of it. Sprayed a little bit of the edge, and there's the back. Turned out really nice. Should help slow down the rusting process. Check it out. Dad got it all taped up. About to put a gray primer on it. It's really pitted in a bunch of spots, and you can see it a little bit, I guess. But it doesn't matter. It's going to be so much better than it was. So I'm going to hit it with the gray primer because I don't know if I have enough of the red. And then I'm going to take the red and hit what I can. That way we can, you know, patina it a little bit. And then we're going to put, you know, had to block it, of course. And then it'll get painted when that gets painted. Even just in primer, it looks better. It's gonna be all right. Check it out. Primed, blocked out. Need to wipe it down. We're gonna put our tin up, wrap some plastic around it. Got our fan, gonna build a spray booth right here, and then, you know, blow the vapors out of the shop. But that's the plan. These are ready to go, other than, you know, wiping them down and then tack cloth, getting them ready to spray some color. Pretty excited about it. Never painted anything before. I mean, we've, you know, rattle can stuff, but I have never. I sprayed primer with a gun for the first time on this. First time I've ever used a paint gun. And then I bought a HTE Harbor Freight gun, the $100 one, the cheaper one they had. And got some paint from Ken's Pro Color in Dothan that we're going to spray to try to match the Cadillac. Pretty excited about it. That'll be the next video. We're going to put some color on this stuff. So, that being said, I appreciate all of our new subscribers. I appreciate all y'all watching the videos, hitting that like button, throwing a comment down there. Tell your friends about it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate that as well. But, that being said, y'all have a wonderful day. Be blessed.